everyone, from Tokyo, Japan. It's an honor and privilege to be able to speak about Swami Vivekananda on what is such a special year for not only me, but everybody that he's inspired around the world. First and foremost, I hope everybody are staying safe and sound in these uncertain times. And in a way, these uncertain times are the perfect way for us to be reminded of Swami Vivekananda and his approaches to life, his approaches to thinking, and just the general sense of positivity that he spread around the world to all of us. Technically speaking, there are numerous things, almost infinite things that we can talk about Swami Vivekananda and analyze and approach and learn from. But considering that we have a time limit, I decided to speak about some of his quotes that I feel have really resonated with me over the years, and quotes which I'm constantly reminded of each time I either accomplish something or even in times of adversity, when I need inner strength, when I need mental strength. It's something that I really rely on, since it's something which is very relatable for me, and not only me, but I feel for everybody who follows him and his approaches. So I just want to take you through some quotes of his which I personally am very attached to, and something which has made me really understand a lot of things in life, over a period of time. So to start with, the first one that I want to bring up is one of his most popular ones. It says, "Take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide." Now, as simple as this quote sounds, it's very powerful, and we can take one of Swami Vivekananda's example himself. When he went to Chicago in 1893, as much of an accomplishment as it is now retrospectively, at that time, arguably it was a huge risk. Not only because he's going to a new place with new people who are yet to buy into his philosophies and all of that, it's also because that he took a step which a lot of others hesitated to and also didn't get the opportunity to take. And he was able to utilize this opportunity just within one speech period. He was able to attract so many different demographics to his approaches, which is very powerful, and it says something about him as a person. And that's also the perfect example for anyone who's wanting to break a barrier or try something new in their life. The only way you'll find out is by taking that risk, taking that step. And that's something that he did, and something which through the quote we're able to really understand and relate to. The next quote I wanted to talk about is about experience. And the quote goes, "Experience is the only teacher we have. We may talk and reason all our lives, but we shall not understand a word of truth until we experience it ourselves." Now, this is another very powerful quote, because especially in these times, it makes me really relate with this. Because, in these current times, the line is very blurry between experience and exposure. Everybody have much more exposure than we used to, let's say, 10 years ago. And exposure can be as simple as going into your phone, going into Facebook, some social media, news app, learning, being exposed to things that are happening around you, far away from you, around the world, which most people did not have access to a few years ago. And it gets mixed up with experience quite a lot, because experience is something which is more physical, something which you need yourself to be involved in order for you to experience it. Whereas in order for you to be exposed to something, you don't necessarily have to experience it. So I wanted to remind people about this quote because he says experience is the only teacher we have. We can always observe things, through exposure, through things that we have access to these days, but without actually experiencing something, we're not going to get the full learning experience from it. And we may talk and reason all our lives, but we shall not understand a word of truth. This again goes hand in hand with the current times, because everybody have access to news, different information around the world, and it gives them reason to talk, it gives them reason to analyze without actually experiencing what's happening. And that experience is what makes all the difference between trying to understand something and actually understanding something. And that's why it's very important, I feel, that even though we have access to a lot of exposure these days, getting actual experience is still as valuable and will be the most valuable thing that we can achieve. And the final quote I want to talk about again, which is something very powerful and something which really resonates with me. It goes, "Whatever you believe, that you will be. If you believe yourselves to be ages, ages you will be tomorrow. There is nothing to obstruct you. And this quote is very powerful, not because of what exactly he says in the quote, but because of what he implies, which is that your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. And using your mind and your mindset, you can go on to achieve or accomplish anything you put your mind to. But usually it's easier said than done. And believing in yourself and believing in your own skills and your own way of doing things is very important, because without you having your own self-belief mentally, no matter how skilled you are, how technically gifted you are, or how intelligent you may be, until you actually believe in yourself and until you actually set your mind to something, more likely than not, it's not going to work out the way you want it to. And it's very easy to get demotivated. It's very easy, especially in these times currently, it's very easy to get distracted from what you want to set your mind to. So this is a good reminder for us that our mind is our most powerful tool, and whatever we set our mind to is what the reality is, and we can go on to achieve great things just like Swami Vivekananda did. And I think the best part about him as a person is that he doesn't only personify one value. He personifies positivity, according to me. He gives us mental strength through his actions and his words. We are able to learn that even during the times when we are living in different times now, where we have access to so many things, but he was able to understand and accept all of this even back then, when none of what we have access to right now is available, and which says a lot about him, his personality, and the way he approached life, the way he approached the world around him. And it also tells us that he was able to be at peace most of the time, regardless of what's happening around him. And I feel that that's something very important we should take in mind when every little thing can affect us these days and influence us these days. And in this ever-changing world, it's very important to stay grounded at times, and he's the perfect example to remind us of why we need to do that. But yeah, I can keep going on going with quotes of his. It's uncountable actually, but I feel like these three are the ones which I keep kind of going back to often, and I often relate with it, and I use it as a source of strength for myself. And I hope all of you are able to do this as well. There are several other quotes of his which I'm sure everybody will be able to resonate with, just how I'm able to do it so with these. And also he's also written a lot of books which I've had the honor of reading and learning a lot from it. So I hope all of you will continue your learning through Swami Vivekananda, no matter how long it takes or how old you get. And I feel like one of the biggest gifts we have is to be exposed to someone like him and to his approaches, which is now helping us in our lives and helping us be motivated and inspired. So I really hope that all of you are also in positive mindsets when we are celebrating this wonderful year of his. And I hope to be able to partake in yet another video such as this for Swami Vivekananda. Thank you very much.